Karmelo Antony situation is showing that we have black privilege. Yes, as a black guy, I'm really Panamanian, but black privilege is a thing now. No more white privilege. Okay, it's probably still a little bit of a thing, but you get what I'm saying. Black privilege is more relevant now. How can you tell me otherwise? Look at what happened. This guy stabs a guy multiple times to death, and look what happens. He gets released on bond that was at $1 million and went down to $2,500. Why? Black privilege. Karmelo Antony shouldn't be released at all. I know I'm black and it's going to be like, oh my God, he's an Uncle Tom. I do not give a fuck. Karmelo Antony should not be released.
On behalf of the black community, I would like to apologize to the parents of Austin Metcalf for making a hero out of the young man that killed your son. I apologize that there are so few fathers around and so few male figures around to teach the black community about emotional discipline, about what's right from wrong, about emotional regulation, about not making a hero out of a thug and a criminal.
Hey, to all of the people who are against Karmelo Antony, me as a black man in America, white people, I'm telling you and I'm telling you now, you ever even think to approach me, bully me, harass me, think you're going to be with your twin brother or twin whatever, and do anything to me, I too will poke you as well. Straight to the heart. And that's on self-defense.
No, it's not. It's on, I'm enjoying the fact that a white person died at the hands of a black person and white people are mad about it. It's on, we can turn this into a race issue when it really wasn't about race. And here's the proof that he's viewing it as a racial issue. Let's just let him continue.
This is not the Jim Crow era. This ain't 400 years ago. This ain't 1619. This ain't back in them days. Y'all don't want to end up like Austin. Leave black people alone. Y'all didn't play fair for 400 years. We ain't playing fair with y'all.
Like I said, found an unnecessary way to make it about race. This has nothing to do with Jim Crow. It's crazy because, again, there's no accountability for Karmelo Antony. Was it maybe he shouldn't have brought a knife to a track meet? Maybe he shouldn't have been sitting under a team's tent? Maybe he should have thought more about what he did? No. No accountability, no way he did anything wrong. It's those white people, and they're racist and we're bullying and they think it's Jim Crow, so we got to respond to that. And Karmelo did exactly what he was supposed to do. It's kind of crazy when you think about it, because when you really boil it down, it's just this individual talking shit to white people because a white person died at the hands of a black person. And he's trying to justify that young black man's actions simply because he's black, in my opinion. If the roles were reversed, he wouldn't have this energy. I'd bet a lot of money on that. But to me, it seems like it's more about race and almost like a gotcha, like a feeling of superiority, like, we got back at those white people.
You know what's crazy? Watching some black men today rushing to defend a white kid, Austin Metcalf, who attacked another black student, Karmelo Antony, and then calling him the villain who defended himself. Let's make something crystal clear right now. Nobody here is celebrating the loss of life. Death is tragic no matter who it happens to, but we have to be real. Actions have consequences. If Austin Metcalf hadn't attacked Karmelo, he would still be alive today. Karmelo did what any human being has the right to do, defend himself when under attack. That's survival. What's even more painful to watch is how some of our own black men are out here shedding tears for the aggressor, rushing to call the black kid a murderer, turning their backs on their own community just to appear fair or neutral. But where was that same energy when it was black people being unalived unjustly? Where was all this neutrality? Where was all this neutrality when a 14-year-old boy, Emmett Till, was beaten beyond recognition and lynched over a white woman's lie? Did they defend him? Did they march for him? No, they let those who unalived him go free.
Wake of this tragic incident, our family has been under attack. Whatever you think what happened between Karmelo and the Metcalf boys, my 3 younger children, my husband, and I didn't do anything to deserve to be threatened, harassed, and lied about.
Now that right there was a recent statement made by none other than Karmelo Antony's own mother. So I want to start by saying this, and this is directed towards Mrs. Antony, who I assume is Mrs. Antony. Yes, I do agree that you did not make a decision to take another young man's life. Neither did your other 3 children. Neither did your husband. And therefore, do I believe that people should be coming after you? No, I wouldn't want that for anybody. However, the simple fact that you are acting as if y'all are the victims in this, more specifically, the fact that you're pushing the narrative that your son is the victim in this when he is still the one standing with breath in his lungs, is the reason why people are coming after you. That's how that works. You know, instead of holding your boy accountable for what he did, which he admitted in the police report that he did, to the police. He told the police that he did this, right? We don't need any sort of trial to know that fact. Now, if you want to get in the conversation of self-defense, etc., you can get into the weeds of that when the trial starts to unravel. However, please remember that this dude right here, your boy, made a decision to take another young man's life, and that resulted in what has now essentially been taking place. And the fact that you continue to defend him, yes, I know it's your baby and you want to do everything you can to make sure that he is coming home. Well, guess what? If he doesn't end up coming home, if he ends up in that cell, it's for the reason why, you know, the other young man or boy is not going to be coming home to his parents ever again.
So Karmelo Anthony's bond has been reduced. And y'all are celebrating this boy going on house arrest until his trial because y'all support people who... Isn't it weird that, like, after all this time in America and all the strides we've made, we've now taken 30 steps back? Because anybody that takes someone else's... I know y'all value, you know, the abortion clinics and things of that nature, so human life is not at the top of your priorities. But it is one of the 7 deadly sins. So why do y'all celebrate it? Now that he's been allowed to leave jail and be on house arrest, I don't know what good that serves, because clearly he didn't grow up in an environment that actually, you know, penalized hurtful behavior. But it's weird to see people celebrate this when a boy lost his life and was just buried. It's not a good thing, America. It's Texas, you have failed. And I've said it, Florida's the standard in America. Texas has been lost from the border issue to the governor. Texas is done.
Where was that neutrality when Tamir Rice, just 12 years old, was shot within seconds of police arriving because he had a toy gun? Where was the cries for justice from white America? Silence. Trayvon Martin was simply walking home from the store with a hoodie on and some Skittles. And what they do? They painted him as a thug. They tried to dig up any dirt they could find to justify George Zimmerman after unaliving him. Michael Brown was shot multiple times and left to die in the street like an animal, his body baking in the sun for hours. White America didn't weep for him. They didn't defend him. They called him a thug too. And let's talk about George Floyd. The entire world saw him being unalived on camera, a knee pressed into his neck for 9 minutes. Even then, some of them still tried to argue that he somehow deserved it because of his past. Eric Garner choked to death, gasping, "I can't breathe," over allegedly selling loose cigarettes. Again, silence, excuse, justifications. And now, here we are. A young black boy defends himself after being attacked, and some of you are too brainwashed to even see what's happening. Some of you are so desperate for white acceptance that you'll defend them even when they're wrong.
He should be in jail for the rest of his life because he did murder. I don't care how he did the murder, he still did murder. And whether he's a black guy or not, he should not be able to get released. It's called murder. Things like this, okay, if a person is rich, what do you think they're going to do? If they want to just unalive somebody, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to just do it because they're going to know that they can afford bond at any time because they're rich. So this is not setting a good precedent for anything. This is wrong. Karmelo Anthony should be in jail. This family of the victim's family lost a brother, lost a son. Everybody's going through a lot of pain because of this. And then you throw it in their face by releasing the same guy that just unalived one of their family members. Fuck off. I don't give a f about your black crowd either. I don't want to be a part of your little black shit. Karmelo Anthony, yes, he's black. He should be arrested.
I apologize on behalf of the black community because they are the ones that are raising money for your son's killer. They are the ones that are funding this new lavish lifestyle. that your son's killer is living. I apologize on behalf of the Black community because they are so confused about, again, what's right and what's wrong, that in some weird, twisted sense of racial solidarity, they would celebrate the young man that killed your child in cold blood. I apologize on behalf of the Black community because you don't deserve to see this. You deserve to be grieving your child. You deserve to be remembering your child. You deserve to be able to share stories about what an amazing human being and young man he was.
Let me remind you, white silence has been deadly for us for centuries. They watched us being wiped, lynched, burned alive, and they said nothing. They watched us being segregated, humiliated, dehumanized, and they said nothing. They watched us fight for basic human rights, and they called us troublemakers and agitators. So tell me again, why are you so quick to defend them when they've never defended you? It's time to wake up. It's time to realize that defending your own does not mean you are promoting violence. It means you understand loyalty. It means you understand survival. Because guess what? They defend their own regardless of whether they are right or wrong. They will march for a white boy who shoots up a church. They will create GoFundMes for police officers who unalived and armed Black people. They will pass laws to protect them. They will stand united, even when it's evil. Meanwhile, some of you all are out here trying to be the good Black, thinking if you distance yourself from your own people, you will be seen differently. Newsflash, you won't. To them, you'll always be Black first. No amount of tap dancing will change that. When you defend Karmelo Antony, you're not just defending one kid. You're standing up against a system that has historically criminalized us from childhood. You're saying no more. You're saying our children deserves to defend themselves too. You're saying we are not going to let you flip the script and make the victim into the villain. And let's talk about how racism is passed down through generations. It starts when white parents teach their kids, directly or indirectly, that they are better than other races. It starts when they turn a blind eye to racism instead of confronting it. If Austin attacked Karmelo, it's because somehow along the line, he was taught that he could disrespect or harm or provoke a Black boy and nothing would happen. It's on them to raise their children better. It's on them to teach their children not to look down on others because of skin color. It's on them to unlearn the racism their ancestors passed down. But instead, what do? They keep passing it on like a family heirloom. And then when things explode, they cry victim. Look around. History is repeating itself. You think because it's 2025 that racism just disappeared. You think because they post a Black square on Instagram that they suddenly care about Black lives. Please ask yourself, where was the outcry for Freddie Gray, who had his spine snapped in a police van? Where was the defense for Alton Sterling, who was shot while pinned to the ground? Where was the compassion for Philando Castro, who was killed in front of his girlfriend and a child after calmly telling police he had a legal firearm? There was none. There was silence, or worse, there was blame. And now, when the tables turn, when a Black boy is attacked and he chooses to defend himself, you think it's time to suddenly find your empathy? Not today. Not anymore. This is about survival. This is about standing up for yourself the way no one else ever has. This is about refusing to let another Black child be demonized while the real aggressor is painted like some angel. Karmelo Antony had every right to defend himself. And while we mourn the situation, while we acknowledge the pain that comes from any life lost, we will not pretend like Karmelo woke up and chose violence out of nowhere. He was attacked. He reacted. Period. If you can't see that, it's because you've been taught to distract your own people. It's because the system has done a good job of making you believe you have to prove yourself to be seen as worthy. It's because it's time to unlearn that. Because history shows us if we don't protect our own, no one else will. We are all we have. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts. Drop a comment and also remember to subscribe, like, and share as well. And until next time, bye-bye.